I know that we recently just like did some thinking about just like PC culture and things like that, and just like changes that have come to society over time, I guess, and over the past few years recently, where things have just really kind of been changing up, and we have a better idea of things, and we feel like we can express things better, we can cut certain things out of places, and we can replace offensive language in a lot of places. And I know that one place where I guess I saw that more or less was music. Because I feel like a lot of things that fly in music now would not have flown a couple of years ago. Like I look at songs that were hits back in the day, and I'm like, there are legitimate reasons why they can't be hits now. And I guess it was just like, it caught my eye, because it was like, a lot of things really have changed music. Like, we don't really talk about that as much. It's just like, well, we talk about it, or people have noticed it. Like, I mean, just as an example, if you think about old school disc records like Ether. Ether and, I don't know if Takeover as much, but basically they're just like, we're going to call it, no bastard. We're going to call it, they basically just go off on the FA word. The FA word gets a lot of play in a lot of those beef songs from back in the day. It was like the automatic go-to insult. Yeah, y'all little boys out here acting like some, I ain't gonna say that. Nas really went off on that. Yeah. Like everybody was talking about Ether's better than Takeover, right?
Well,
Takeover, and I'm like, it's not.
That's absolutely.
Nas just literally just called him like the FA word 1,000 times, and I was like, it's kind of overkill.
But DRF. That's what you call it.
Did he say he had dick sucking lips?
And so he had dick sucking lips. Yes, he did.
Yo, it was wild, but it was a wild time. It was a wild time.
Jay-Z said that he left condoms in Nas' baby mama's baby seat. So
absolutely. So I mean, I got you. Like I'm with you. Fair is fair. Like all's fair in love and war. But it was just like you just think about it. It's like the times have changed so much, and it's just like people love Ether. If I would have put out a diss track today and I was to drop that word 1,000 times, are people still gonna love it, or is it gonna be like he used homophobic language? I don't know.
1,000 times, you probably can't do that.
I'm saying, Rick Ross got away with the one subtle purple hair got them on your back. He got away with that in like 2019.
I don't know how.
2018. It worked out for him. Not even to say it worked out. It was. I don't think that was a very good choice at all. But it is what it is. And so I guess I was like, what are some songs that you all think of that were like hits back in the day, and like, why couldn't they be hits today? Like I can start off because I got a couple that are like hits back in the day, and they were like, couldn't do it today. Like one that just like stands out to me off the top of my head, just to give you two, and it's just like an uncommon one that I think couldn't be one today. Girls, Girls, Girls by Jay-Z. Couldn't be a hit today.
That's a good one.
It's a problematic song.
What's the bar? Censored.
Jigga man, why you treat me like animal?
Okay,
so you can't do.
Are you
can't
familiar
do
with
it.
the premise of the song? He goes, he talks about a bunch of races of women.
You can't do African accent in the song no more. First of all, let's start with that. You can't do that.
Got
And
the
then
Chinese chick, gotta lose her quick because she kept bootlegging my shit.
Yeah, I'm about to say, it's like there are multiple microaggressions that can be leveled up.
Microaggressions. Yeah, like you said, excuse me, Miss Fufu, when I met you as you're dead, broken, naked, now you want half.
Yo, bro, like I met this Indian chick, I asked her what tribe she with, red dot or feather, and that's also offensive as hell. And it's like, I'm listening, it's like after Blueprint came back out on Apple Music, and I listened to it, I was like, this is a great song. Offensive as hell for all these people.
It's one of my favorites, but...
Oh, no, I'm not saying it's not. Dude, I love the song. I'm just saying, you know how it was all over MTV, music video. It got all the works back when we were younger. These days, that couldn't happen. And it's not that, I feel like you could, not to say that a song couldn't come out anymore. You bury it. It would be an album track, and people, I don't
know if that was.
I feel like
that's a tough one. They would have gotten him out.
But that's what I'm saying. It's
just
like,
he wasn't Jay-Z, like, because Jay-Z, when he dropped that album, he was the biggest name in the game.
But if Drake were to drop a song today and he was talking about Miss Fufu, Jigga Man, why you treat me like it, do everything that he did.
I got this black chick always talking out her neck, making her finger snap, just like, stereotypical black woman, like.
It's like the little things like that where it's just like, that's why I was saying, like, it don't even have to be like overt, stupid stuff that you say in a song. It could just literally be a bunch of stupid stereotypes and things like that you just throw into a song. And it's like, I guess for Girls, 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 for me, that one just stands out because he just bunched up so many things within that song to where it's like, cool song, absolutely. Could you play it? These days, that couldn't be on the radio. You would literally get calls from the radio, from your sponsors, couldn't do it anymore. And that's why I thought it was different. Now, the other one that I would say, even though this was only like a couple years ago, you don't even know it? That one definitely couldn't do it. And that's what the obvious.
He got canceled
know as soon
they
as
got a lot
he
of
did
bank
it.
for that.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
but I'm
he had
saying,
his Reebok deal canceled, right?
bro, but I feel like
Yeah.
these days be worse.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
It was.
Yeah.
I'm not
They
gonna lie,
look
it
at
was
that
pretty
well.
bad
I
back then.
know
though.
it's worse now.
That was the first time I ever remember anybody getting in trouble for saying some shit.
Right, we didn't even think
I didn't even think about it until
He lost the endorsement deal off that.
Yeah.
He wasn't canceled because he was still a big star, but he lost a lot. I mean,
Bro.
Put Molly all in her champagne.
She ain't even know it.
Took her back to my crib. She enjoyed that.
We was all
She
singing
didn't-
that
It wasn't
shit.
even the first line that gets it. It's the second line.
I took
Oh,
all
it took
mine
long
for
to
that.
see.
Yeah.
The second line.
I mean, the Molly in the champagne's pretty bad.
Fair enough. Yes, it is. But then but that's just
I
implied.
took her home.
Then he actually explained the
Nah,
date
finish
rape.
it out.
that.
Finish the
She
story.
didn't even know.
When you explain the date rape, then it becomes even worse. Because then it's like, oh, there's no ambiguity here.
I'm
You
glad.
literally just. Let me rephrase that. I don't endorse putting drinks in.
we know you don't
drinks,
have to
but-
preface that.
Yes, I do, nigga. You ain't the only one trying to make sure I'm defending myself.
Yeah, we know we don't advocate that. It's fine. You're fine. But what I was gonna say is like, yes, I'm glad you brought that up because I have two songs that piggyback right off that. Blame It on the Alcohol by
Oh,
Jamie
man, I
Foxx.
don't even think about that no
And
more.
How Many Drinks by Miguel. Like
Yeah.
both those songs.
And I love both of them.
Great songs. Enjoy them both.
Those are awesome.
She spilled some drink on me. Now I'm knowing she's tipsy. How many drinks does it take you to get me? I mean,
Girl, you look good, but I got money, but I don't wanna waste my
I
time.
mean,
Nigga just sitting there basically like, yo, look, how many I gotta have to buy before you sleep with me? I'm just trying to wear you down. I don't know. It's like the little things like that where it's like, yo, okay, I don't know. Blame it on the alcohol is actually like, no. Not blame. Not blame.
No,
Is
no.
that problematic though?
Not blame. I was whatchamacallit. I said wrong
We
word.
can blame a lot of shit on alcohol.
I mean, literally,
Hey,
the
cheers.
the point of the song is, I'm gonna get this girl drunk enough so we have sex.
If I take one more drink.
That too.
So,
Yeah.
no, I'll say that.
I mean, I guess I would say, I'll say how many drinks. I think that's actually the one that I would think is more problematic. Literally, if how many drinks, I feel like then it's just like, how many drinks is it gonna take you to get to fuck me? How many drinks is it gonna take
It
you to
could be
just lose
problematic.
all your inhibitions and then we just able to do what we want to do? But I mean, I'll put it to you like this. It's not so much as the focus is on alcohol, but that's the only focus within the song. If it's just like a regular love song and you just
Right.
throw something in there about alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
I can look around it. I mean, most people have for years. We looked around how many drinks too because, for the time we didn't think about that. But then
Right.
it's just like, when we're just getting more educated to these things and nowadays you hear about people going out to the club keeping their hand on their drinks the whole time. Girls put napkins over their drinks when they go, guys too put napkins over their drinks when they go to the bathroom. And you sitting there you're like, well damn, how many drinks? That is
Right.
quite provocative to think about when you think about
Nigga, we talked about like for a long time. I don't know when that Cosby episode was, but like that was a norm for a lot of creepy ass niggas in the 90s and 80s. Like just
Quaaludes?
putting something, the Quaaludes and like just putting something people drink and them teaching other young boys to do the same shit. Like it's a lot of creepy.
Give her one of these and see how she acts.
behaviors, yeah.
I got a couple jumps, bro. Actually, my jump is a little old school jump.
What you got?
Some jump that we sing in the club, but if you really sit back and look at the lyrics, you like, damn, this is really fucking nasty and very degrading to women.
What you
Some
got?
cut.
What?
I mean, come on, bro. Come on, bro.
I don't know if
That's
the
the
lyrics,
lyrics,
man.
But it's
No,
not
it's nasty.
problematic.
I don't know if it's problematic.
Say, follow you in the mall.
Oh,
She ain't following girls anymore.
Come on, we following girls. Give me your number, and I'll call. And I'll follow your ass in the mall. Take you home, let you juggle.
I still think that's a little bit more nasty. I mean,
Yeah.
It
is nasty.
The only
but
part that's problematic seemed like the following in the
Yeah.
mall.
And the king of problematic for my second one's going to have to be, unfortunately, love him to death, but Future, my collection. That song.
Hey, screw you, nigga. I love that song.
That song is really fucked up.
What you say? What song?
Well, my collection.
I don't know if I've ever heard that.
I know
it's the first song.
I know
It's the first
bad.
song.
The first song on.
I mean,
Hendrix, yes. It's opener on Hendrix.
I don't know the songs by
yeah,
their names.
Oh.
I like that album.
That's my favorite Future album.
that song
It's
is-
like, it's beautiful toxicity.
It is extremely. The
No,
king of
Future's
toxic.
a good example though.
Bro, Future got a lot of lines with his album where you gotta stop and hold yourself, not hold
But I
yourself, be like,
think
oh,
though Future too. I think his music is problematic in the sense that he's manipulative. I don't know if it's like something that can get him canceled. He's just like an asshole dude. I don't know if like that's like the difference between just being a manipulative bastard and being like a creep or like just like problematic or something like that.
That's what the call this thing.
Dog, he is. His music songs are awful. Like,
Well, shouldn't there be a problem with that too?
No, you're right.
It's a moral, but I mean,
It's
I mean,
moral.
not even to pass judgment on it. I guess it'd just be like a moral ambiguity issue.
Yep. Yeah.
Not, and then again, not to say that I don't like. I like his music. I actually like My Collection, even after Believe
That
says
is a
that.
great song, though.
It's an amazing song, but yes, if you go through it in all honesty, he is right about certain parts of the toxicity just because it's like, yo, I own you. No matter what you do, we slept together.
Yeah.
You are mine. You were in this collection, and I'm not letting that go.
Yeah. And then you gotta remember, like, that's just going to, like, you know, young niggas hearing this and they just like, you know.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
bad, it's terrible.
It could influence young people, but I mean, and the whole song is directed at Sierra, I believe. So that's,
Yeah, it's
I mean,
tough.
yeah.
So yes, he is technically.
Even if I hit you once, you part of my collection. That is.
You mine. I hate you once again.
That is what collection? You own
I mean,
a
I'm
woman.
gonna tell you
You
this.
say
the
you own
only-
a woman, bro. You don't own a woman.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'll say it like this. The only reason why we don't think it's wild in certain cases is because I've heard 1,000 niggas say stuff just like that all the time growing up. And it's one of those things you just kind of get used to. We're
You're like,
very-
oh, just add it to the list. Like,
You're not
it's
gonna
knock
lose.
down.
You're not gonna lose an endorsement for it, but yes,
Yeah.
that's really wild.
That actually goes into mine. I don't really have specific songs,
You
but I
good,
have
right,
two
man.
specific artists. Because two of my favorite artists coming up, and this is a lot of people's favorites, was Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. Like that whole, I fell in love with West Coast, like G-Funk, like that whole
They're
era
artists
of
too,
music.
man.
My dad loved it. Like
Dang,
I
my dad
love
ain't
the
play
music.
G-Funk. My dad was playing TLC.
my dad was playing all that, Bootsy Collins and all that, like all those niggas, bro. Like it was hit. But just an example, like we talked about Snoop Dogg having that versus battle like too long ago and playing ain't no fun and all that stuff, man. Like it was like a lot of stuff we enjoyed, and at the time it might have been fine, but like to me it's just hard. Like it's kind of cringeworthy. How
Ain't
many?
no fun is a wild.
It's wild. It's something about like
If I gave up, out of it, I never.
I gotta listen to that whole song. I always miss that when people
You
talk
should
about
listen
it.
to that whole album, but it's just like the amount of
Is that
times like they like
That's on Doggy Style.
even just not like the amount of times they say like bitch and like just cursing in general.
No,
This
just
is
the
a
way
different-
they
it's
talk
so
about-
explicit.
I mean, they talk about
Why
women.
even listen?
Good point. They talk about women like they literally aren't human. Like literally, they're
Yeah,
just there
it's so
to
degrading, like-
be sexual objects.
Right.
Like, literally, that's it.
Right.
Like, they don't call them. They call them bitches. That's all I do.
Right.
Bitches ain't shit. That is
Right.
one of,
That was my
one
Dr.
of the
Dre joint.
greatest
Yeah.
beats ever. The song sounds amazing. Those
Dr. Dre
lyrics
killed
are
all them
repulsive, dog.
Yeah.
It's my little brother Daz, and he's fucking my hoe. Like I don't know, yo. Like, and
I ain't gonna lie, I'm
Snoop
looking at that.
Snoop Dogg's reaction was that I'm not even mad. Like I'm Snoop
Guess
Dogg.
who's
Fuck
back
a
in the
bitch.
motherfucking house?
I mean, like this is not a real person. This is just a tool I use to masturbate with. Oh, now Daz using it. Whatever. I'm still Snoop Dogg. That's crazy.
Yeah, they definitely treated women like tools. So those probably would not fly today, like especially with woke culture. Like, hey, like women are a lot more than that. But like, yeah, I mean, those are just examples of classics that you can't really listen to the same way.
I'll pick you back off the verses because I'm gonna use a DMX line here because.
Mhm.
Of that verses, the thing that stuck out to me was when DMX did "Where the Hood At," and literally his first verse is one of the wildest things I've ever heard in my
Yeah,
life. I'm
sing-
surprised he said it. He said, "Man, cats don't know what it's gonna be. Fucking with a nigga like me. D to the M to the X. Last I heard, y'all." N-words was having sex with the same sex. I show no love to homo thugs. Empty out, reload, and throw most slugs.
Oh my
How you
god.
gonna explain effing a man? Even if we squash the beef,
No,
I ain't
that's
touching your hand.
That is wild.
I don't F with chumps. For those who've been to jail, that's the cat with the Kool-Aid on his lips and pumps. Like,
Wow.
that's just,
DMX has been in jail before. He knows the system.
man, that's such hateful lyrics.
Bro, but that's why I was like, and that's why I was thinking. It's like, yo, and that was a hit. That was one of the biggest songs that was on the radio back in like the early 2000s.
I remember one of the Def Jam fighting games. That was the song that was on the commercial, and I didn't know that was the lyric.
I didn't know until you just said it just now. I never read those lyrics. It's like, bro, it's just so different because you just think about those
That's
things,
crazy.
and we were able to just overlook them
And
back
that
in the
song
day.
not even about that. Why'd you feel the need to go in on gay people like that? I don't understand.
Right. I don't even know that we was overlooking it. I just think it was a
Well,
cultural
no,
norm.
yeah,
like
yeah,
it was
yeah.
just like
Fair
everybody
enough. I mean,
talking like
listen,
that. We
again,
talking like bitches and hoes.
We
like,
always talk about it. We had
Right.
a lot of growth from where we were
Right,
in middle
we did.
school.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
all said foul, evil things to
Right.
each other, and we've grown. We know that was
I'm
wrong.
sorry, Malik.
I'm
Should've
sorry
said
to all
foul.
y'all.
Thanks to you.
I'm really sorry.
We've all said
We've all fallen
really
short.
bad words
For
to
the
each
glory
for
other.
the
of God.
glory of God.
Yeah, right? We're gonna go apologize. I'm sorry, Dante, Darian, Malik. We all.
Dante, I should
Truth is, I'm telling.
Fair enough. I believe you should have too. You really have to answer
I
this,
just,
man.
I
sat
should've
there
tried
and watched
harder.
him. I just sat there and watched Dante.
Sit there and watch.
But I don't even think we should limit it to old music either. I still think people are still saying shit, and it's just like Cardi B, Big in Head off her last album. Lawyer is a Jew. He gonna chew up all the charges. I have no idea how that was. No one made a big deal about it. So my theory is
Because if it's not like degrading,
that degrading. That we.
Some people wouldn't
as
say that's
offensive term.
degrading.
What was
Man,
the
Jay-Z-
line again?
Lord
What
is
was the
a
line?
Jew, he gonna chew up all the charges.
Yes.
It's not like he's saying like
We've
Bro,
already.
Jay-Z
I
got
mean,
in
I know
trouble
we're
for
gonna-
saying Jews
We've
bought the
already
neighborhood.
established why
They-
Jewish
you
stereotypes
can't,
are
you
not
can't play
okay.
with the Jews.
No,
it's a compliment.
it's not a compliment. It's not because it's not.
Look, okay, I'm put it to you like this.
I mean,
it's hard. No,
it's kinda go both ways, like-
I understand what you're saying. It's one of those things where for Jewish people, they have a stereotype where it seems as though they have a lot of money and all those type of things, which does sound nice in theory within your head when you come from the place where we come from, which is when you think about black people and our stereotypes, we late, we got big lips, we love watermelon, stuff like that. I don't even like watermelon. But anyway, we just think about all those type of things. So we automatically
But
subvert
those
that.
are good things.
That's what. But listen.
I got you,
I'm just saying, like,
I'll give you
you're not
this-
naming
I'll
anything
give you-
that any
I'll-
American would want.
Listen, I'll tell you why it's wrong. Same reason why, black people, they're athletic, they're good. That dates back to slavery, being held in the block. Oh, look, he can work good in the field. Jewish people, again, as I've said numerous times,
We're bigger than they.
I'm just saying, no matter
Jewish
if
people
it's
in every society in the history of the world have been persecuted, murdered, and all types of bad things because people think that all they care about is money. That's why just because
That's not why they were
yes it
persecuted.
is.
Though. That's
Yes
not
it
why.
is.
That's not why Hitler persecuted because all they cared about is money. He cared about. He persecuted them because they weren't the Aryan race. That was different.
No, I mean, okay, that.
I get what you're saying.
I'm
though,
just
man.
saying, like,
Guys, I'm telling
Sorry,
you.
I got
I'm
it.
telling you what it
this
is.
side of the room is getting riled up again.
No, because I'm
Them
literally.
niggas. Them niggas. Sorry.
Wait, I'm
We're
just
doing it again. We got separate mics this time, too.
I'm literally telling
Wait
you.
a minute.
Yeah, bitch. Hey, this shit to be.
I'm literally telling you, like that's what it
Sorry, guys.
is. Like,
He's right.
I really got
He's right. Same thing with
I'm
that
listening.
Rothschild shit. Like
yes,
you-
like all that
God,
stuff for
anything.
like that's what I'm saying.
Rothschild and all that.
Like there's no positives. Like they're super smart.
I got you.
It's not that they're super smart. It's because non-Jewish people think they're just sneaky or whatever like that. So just because it's a positive thing, like no, Mexicans work hard. Like Mexicans work hard. Because they're all poor like that. So no.
Let me answer our question though, because I do think, and this is just me. I enjoy comedy. I enjoy a good roast.
Go ahead.
So, at what point, like, is there a line that can be drawn between like the stereotype jokes, like, or like, so you said "Girls, Girls, Girls" by Jay-Z,
Mm-hmm.
like. I enjoy that song. That's a good
That's
song. I mean, he didn't really, in my opinion, I don't think he said anything crazy disrespectful except for that African girl about being butt naked and broke. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it
That's funny enough. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, at what point do we draw a line between like jokes is kind of jokes and those stereotypes?
I would say
the setting or-
I would say that
if you make a joke at your own expense, like if I make a joke about black men, like that's fine. If Jordan Lopez wants to make a joke about Mexicans, that's fine.
So you think we only joke about ourselves?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it's.
Y'all agree with that?
Well, no, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I would just, in terms of the time and jokes, I guess for me, I mean, based off that, it just, I mean, coming from where, in my mind, it's just like, yeah, you can make jokes, but I think it's just as we've grown with, like we keep talking about evolution. As we've grown with time, we just kind of see that, all right, making a whole song based on stereotypes, that just ain't going to land the same way anymore. Am I all for within comedy settings? I get it. I don't have a problem with it. I love stand up, all those types of stuff. I understand it. But within your music, it's not the same as making comedy per se. Like, yeah, you can have a funny song, but to just completely rely on all those type of things. I'm just saying, if you try to do it today, it just doesn't go the same way because people are. You know, I don't like to call people sensitive because I understand that gets misconstrued.
Right,
but people,
some things you like. That's sensitive.
people feel more empowered to step up for those type of things. If they feel like, oh, hey, this shouldn't just be the joke. We shouldn't just be sitting around talking about red dot or feather Indian. Which one are you? Number one, we can't even use the term Indian for Native Americans.
Right.
It's still offensive.
It's
So that's what I'm saying. It's like little things where that's why I said I'm not trying to call Jay-Z a bad person. I'm just trying to say, look at these songs.
Yeah.
They changed.
My biggest thing is like, as long as you like, if somebody calls you out, say, hey, that was offensive. Like, I didn't like that you said that. As long as you own up to it, like, even if you make the joke, as long as you own up to it and then you change based on that, like, I'm not gonna for one, cancel culture is a whole nother topic. But like, I'm not gonna cancel you like that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I'm about to say I've seen Jay-Z in concert like twice. He don't do that song.
That's what I'm saying. I've seen
He
it all the
don't-
time.
he can't.
I've seen
Jay,
Jay-Z.
Jay don't do it. He
I've
don't not
seen
anymore.
Jay-Z
I
on the
look
spot.
at-
I've never seen him.
Jay
perform
is
solo.
How you look like sounding out on him?
Jay has never done girls, girls, girls at any show I have ever been
And
to.
it's not like
before.
he's above doing songs that are like, you know, like
Yeah.
ignorant as shit. Because he does "Can I Get Her" and he does Big
Can I Get Her,
Pimpin'. But he just,
Whoa.
I've never heard a new girl.
I'm about to say, dang, we've been here so long that Darius Ice has turned into Puddles.
I mean, I think just race struggles, we just need to get that. If we're making jokes about, oh man, you know, my black dad is ha ha ha, ha whatever, or like that's one thing. But like, I don't think you need to be making race jokes about anybody else's race. Like, and also the excuse, oh, Jewish people got a lot of money. We need to know where these things come from. You can't just say, oh, I just thought no, like, cause like a lot of these things come from bad places, and you know, like. We can't just be like ready to jump on people. Oh, like people suffer, and like we need to be respectful of everybody else is suffering. So I'm not gonna sit there and perpetrate racist caricatures and all that. Cause I damn sure don't want. Part of the reason why I was done with the Redskin name, I was like, if I want black people to get what they want, and you know, get out of where we were 200 years, whatever. I can't support a team that's, you know, profiting off of Native American symbols and culture and not giving them a dime for it, right? And nobody who's coached, worked in the front office, or played for that team in a long time has been Native American. So
They have front office natives?
no, probably never. I was trying to. I don't know.
Yeah, they probably have one token that probably doesn't have.
They had a native consultant.
Oh, that's Steve Williams over there. His great grandmother is 8th Cherokee.
half Indian. I'm about to. Oh yeah,
His name's Cherokee. You know.
They got a random
Black
office.
foot.
They got a random office in there that has runs with wolves on the
Indian
door.
affairs.
We're not Indian. Don't call us. Don't say Indian affairs.
But I mean, that's the problematic shit. And I mean,
There is a government office in Indian affairs. All right, go
but
ahead.
no, but listen, like, there's some things I think people get too. Like, we've had that discussion again with the PC culture, but I think the race stuff, I don't think there's any room for that in 2020. I mean, whatever. I mean, we say the N word in the podcast, we say nigga, whatever. That's different. But again, if like a white person come in and start saying, "Oh man, I thought you guys were supposed to get this podcast started at 9:30. It's 10:30. You just started. You blacks are late all the time." You might be making a joke, but no, we're not doing that here. So.
Good point. Because you know it came from a place of.
Right. Well, I mean,
those come from
true.
somewhere,
I
right?
was about to say. So, yeah, but I'm looking at your rundown, Dante. Like to see if it's a good thing. I mean, music-wise, what we're talking about, honestly, the totality of what we've been talking about, some wild stuff. Like, no, you shouldn't be rapping about how much you hate gay people. I don't know if DMX hates gay people now, but that was some hateful lyrics and where the hood at.
Well, like, I guess my biggest thing is, like, for present rap, though, like, how do y'all feel about, you know, the evolution of now? We just talking about just straight drugs now. Like, just straight.
I don't know.
I mean, like, what else do we go from here?
Rap is
Like,
still just as misogynistic as it was.
That was my question.
Like,
That was one thing
it's
that was in there.
still
It's like,
really
where do
bad.
we go from here? Because, like, no one's getting canceled talking about codeine. And, like, I hate to bring up, like, you know, Juice WRLD and, you know, stuff like that. Like, but Juice WRLD is you know, God Rest His Soul is a big proponent of, like, doing drugs and, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, inhibitions and stuff like that. And I'm not saying, you know, that was, you know, a trigger or whatever it was, but, like, it's just kind of like, it's, you know, obviously it's a parallel between his music and the life he lived. And, you know, we can name, like, people like Lil Skies. Was it Lil Skies that passed away?
No,
Lil
Lil
Peep.
Peep.
Yeah, Lil Peep.
Wow, these names are
I know they all
There's
just,
a lot of-
yeah, you know what I'm saying, was a big proponent of drugs and things like that, and then they overdose and they die, and it's like,
I just feel like ultimately, like regardless of whether you're like talking about a certain race or you talking about drugs, I think what we're doing now that is important is that artists are being held responsible for what they're saying. So like if you're preaching a certain thing like drugs, you got to be responsible to those people who are listening to you and like taking drugs just because that was a cool thing in the song, or you who are taking those drugs and again, rest in peace of Juice WRLD, but like overdose and have those tragic things happen.
what's worse
But I
though?
think you're responsible for what you say.
I don't agree with that. I think it's a difference.
You don't think you're responsible for what you say?
I mean, no, that's not what I'm saying, but I think there's a difference between, you know, being homophobic or being
Oh
racist
yeah,
and all
yeah.
that.
I'm not saying that. It's just
Because
saying
that's hurting other people. Again, there's no data to back up that Juice WRLD or rappers talk about drugs and there's a rap, like there's like some associated drug use in teenagers.
There's gotta be 100.
Off of hip hop music. I don't.
I think
Yes.
I think
That's
there
crazy.
is some
So like that's
situation, though.
so like I'll make this example. I know we all talk about social
Well,
media.
if that was the case, then the opioid crisis would affect black people more than what you think. It's,
But we
it
don't
seems
rap
like-
opioids though.
What do you think these rappers are doing? What do you think Percocet and all that is? Those are opioids. Yes, they are.
Okay, we've
But
been
they do Percocets. You know, they
I
do
mean, but I'm
Percocets.
saying the opioid crisis affects like white county. Like that's why I get so mad.
Okay,
It's
I'm
such
sure
a big deal.
it's a huge proponent, but I think that we would take a look at that. It is affecting the
I
black
think
people.
hip hop does have a role to play. You know what I'm saying? Like hip hop says something is popular, some drink. Like there was some article saying about how Lil Kim had some rap lyric about Moscato, and then everybody Moscato sells one.
Well,
up.
that's
like you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Like
but
different stuff like that.
Moscato and drugs are.
No, I mean,
they're
same
very
thing, same
persuasive.
concept.
It's a
Same
persuasive
concept.
idea of being able to.
I don't know if I.
I mean, Nicki Minaj literally talked about
So, I mean,
drink,
there could-
or
'cause
Rick
what we're
Ross
doing-
talking about
what we're
Bel
doing
Air,
now
and we all
is-
go grab
Yeah,
Bel
it's
Air.
like-
What we're doing now is video games made me do it. The guy in Parkland went and shot a school.
Yeah, not 100%. I don't give it
They play a
100%.
role though.
I don't give it 100%, but I do
Like,
give it a
Listen,
percentage.
I think you can get that way if you think about it. Like it can make sense, but there's no data to back
So
it up.
I'll ask you this. So to like my
There's been
social,
studies
this
done.
is kind of a little aside, but since we're kind of going towards data and persuasiveness of peer pressure or somebody persuading you, like Social Dilemma. It's on Netflix. It's a documentary about how social media has created
Good
people to
documentary.
like. If you look at teen children or children being girls that are like younger than I think like 10 that have like suicide rates. Suicide rates for them have gone up like almost 125%.
And it coincides with
And it
social
coincides with social media. So you can make that same argument if you were to look at data and say drug usage in the black community or in other different communities as music has gone towards codeine and gone towards opioids.
Look at
I'm
look
sure
at
it's a start-
Hennessy, Cavassier, like all them stuff is like French white people shit. Like black people said in the
Okay,
song
but-
Gucci, like they said, like
but
we very
that's
receptive.
Yeah, come on, we got so many examples.
Drugs
Like,
too.
I don't think drugs is a real is a
So
hard stretch.
for a normal person, I think if you put Hennessy on the table and like
But we're not talking
Like,
about the normal person because a normal person wouldn't do that. We're not in the.
a
we
normal
all
person is more
representative of
likely
the average Joe.
just to drink liquor than they
That's
would
a
do
fair
drugs.
point.
Is what I'm saying.
Huh?
That's,
So,
I mean,
the average
that's a
person-
fair point that the average person,
person-
because then you get into risk,
Yeah,
adversity,
like,
and
I'm
stuff.
Hey, but you can make the
But
same
there
argument
is
that
one
the
or two
average
kids
kid
that
is not
might-
going to
Listen,
fucking kill
yeah,
himself.
sure,
But yes, it is up to
Sure,
100%.
there might be one or two kids to do that, but I don't, because again, there's been studies. Hip hop music's not the first to have that. Like they were doing about they were taking rock and roll bands, hair metal bands in the 80s.
I'm not blaming hip hop for drug use. I'm not blaming hip hop for drug use.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not.
mean, like-
That's not what this says.
Because like throughout history, the war on drugs has always been find some type of boogeyman to blame, other than the fact
Because that's what they
people
like to
take
do.
Drugs
Not
'cause
just
people
blame
take
white
drugs
people, but
because
It's
like,
escape reality.
Yeah,
Drugs are
it's like-
fun.
Yeah.
For some
I mean,
people.
now listen, watching Lil Wayne and Future walk around with a cool little styrofoam cup. I'm not saying that there's not people who's like, oh, I want to try that. Yeah, but I don't think. Again, there's an opioid crisis going on, and when you go in the places of the opioid in Maryland where the opioid crisis is being affected, St. Mary's County, Charles County, Calvert County. I don't know too many people are playing Future down there.
They
So
played a little Sky, a little Pete though.
I think they might be playing Jason
For sure.
Alderan.
For sure.
They probably play.
R.I.P. Lil Peep.
They played Jason
Juice
Alderan,
WRLD.
and the most they'll play is maybe a little Jack Harlow. That's,
Jason Alderan.
I don't know.
They ain't playing no
Sometimes
Jack
all the
Harlow.
words in-
There's a guy or Aldean, whatever. I don't know.
To tie this back into
Go ahead.
though, like ultimately what I was trying to say is like when rappers should be held responsible. Like just think about how much lingo we picked up by listening to some of these songs. Like a lot of the words we say, like whether they're explicit or whether they're like not homophobic, but like derogatory to a certain.
No, that
You know what I'm saying?
That I'll
Like-
give you credit for. Yes, like, I will say
Yeah,
that.
like we're like sponges. Like we soak all that
No,
shit up, and sometimes
no.
it.
'Cause
Yeah.
I think if somebody just sits there and listens to hip hop, are they more likely to go grab a bottle of codeine, or are they more likely to go call a girl bitch? I think it's probably the latter.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's the
It's
the
more
barriers to
accessible.
entry. Is
One would have to involve some legwork to
Right.
find a dealer.
Right.
Everybody can find a bitch.
Everybody.
I mean, like
It's quite easy to find a woman to code that word.
No,
But
I
anyway,
agree with that. I mean, like again, hip hop.
you always gotta-
Like hip hop didn't start misogyny. Obviously, that's something that's been going on since
Right,
dawn of
right,
time.
right.
But yes, I mean, Yeah.
Do you feel like that would be like the next step in terms? Does that seem like a logical step in terms of like reducing
That's never gonna be reduced.
What do you mean reducing?
some of the
Like a way
misogyny within hip hop?
I don't
Because I guess it'll be like we've seen certain things, and look, man, I love hip hop. I'm not trying to say and pass judgment on anything. The biggest thing that I would just say is I know based off what I just said, a lot of what I was talking about was just like, all right, some of the language. Overtly, some of the language has been cleaned up. I'm not going to say it's completely gone or any of those type of things. Yes, there's still plenty of people that say plenty of wild things in their songs. You hear it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I would just say, certain things have been done so that everybody's kind of aware that I can't use certain words and make a hit record anymore. It won't flow the same. Do you think there's ever going to come a point where people decide, all right, maybe I'll dial it back some in terms of
We're talking strictly misogyny here.
yeah, just strictly that.
Just want to keep it strictly to go.
No.
Well,
Well,
I mean, I was talking about just
homophobia. They stamped that out. But I mean, again, Rick Ross still said what he said, but that word was so prevalent. If you go back and listen to anything,
90s and early 2000s hip hop.
Wow,
It's
that word,
everywhere.
that
It's
word is.
everywhere.
I mean, again, 'cause
Shout
the
out
fact-
to Eminem.
it was such a big deal that Rick Ross said it. Everybody like, whoa,
Yeah, I'm about to say there's
So-
stories about that, but it's just like that's why I just said strictly just the misogyny. And no, it's not like I'm trying to say that women rappers don't say like questionable things or they don't have their own their own bag or their own vibe. I'm just talking about that. Hip hop is a male dominated industry, so it's one of those things where I would just say, do you see a point where maybe misogyny gets dialed back at some point?
because
Or go ahead.
because again, hip hop is just it's an arm of the misogyny. It's just in America, right?
For sure, fair
So
enough. That's all I'm
like,
saying.
it's we would have to as a society get away from misogyny, and I mean shit, man, like in the last couple of years, like people have just been okay with women just going and having the agency over their body. Like 10 years ago,
They still
if one of your friends said, "Oh yeah, I fucked 2 guys in the last 2 months," like, "Oh, she's a hoe," like that just was acceptable in like the last 5 years. So,
It's been a slow change, but I think the changes have been made though, right? Like it has been come to a point where like that's not
Well,
like
the thing
tolerated
is,
as much. You
I-
know what I'm saying?
I
I mean, it's slow. I mean, it needs to.
I still don't know if that's acceptable because
Right,
Cardi B just divorced Offset and everybody is coming at Cardi B.
Right, instead of Offset.
Like, oh, you're saying all this.
Offset, I was rooting
I don't
for
cook or
you.
don't clean.
Yes.
Da da da. No,
I guess you don't really got that. What?
I'm sorry, I should have laughed. That shit was funny.
That's
like
Nah,
they
man,
say-
it really was coming from
That's how
Cardi
they
B.
saying it though, bro.
And this might be a bad example because nobody agrees with me about this, but I think one of the most glaring examples of misogyny that I've seen this year is all the way back for Tiger King. When everybody just assumed that Carol Baskin actually murdered her husband, and everybody,
I think that's a real fucking fact.
Alright, okay,
See,
whatever.
Carol Baskin.
Okay, the fact is everybody was taking Joe's side as opposed to Carol Baskin.
Yeah, believe women got.
Like literally everybody just automatic. Oh, I'm on Joe's side. Carol.
I don't know, but Carol was a little crazy.
She might have been crazy, but Joe
Even
said
the family believes that shit.
I mean, what else?
Okay,
I
I haven't seen Tiger King, but just I gotta watch other things.
So,
So,
it's good
I just want to ask a question. Okay, in terms of what you said though, is Joe the main character? I've only seen like one episode of Tiger King. So if Joe's the main character though, doesn't that kind of skew people's opinion towards his anyway? Just because he's the one that you're seeing. I'm just asking you.
Whoever gets the story first.
It's whoever is the
She's in
story.
this. She's in it a lot too.
It was biased towards him, though. I think.
I'm
Don't
about
you
to say,
think?
'cause-
Like it was
but
kind of
the
like
The
his.
episode I watched
the
was
thing
almost
is-
completely about
The
Joe.
thing is though, he's the main character, but then at the end when he realized that he really sent somebody to go kill her, like he really committed a crime. That it's so much about him that yes, he went to go kill her.
I
So,
mean,
I think it just shows
Joe
that
is
both of them are
questionable.
bad people. though.
Joe is.
okay, but if you look at the public opinion on Twitter,
Bro,
everybody
people
loves
been
Joe.
trying to free Joe.
I'm about to say,
Carol
everybody,
Baskin.
every time.
because he's a character. Like people like.
But that's the sad part about shit. Like,
I mean, you
It,
know.
I understand what Aaron's saying.
You
That's
see,
all
it's
I'm saying.
wild
It's
because
gotta be
it's
double
wild
down.
because
That's
patriarchy goes like it transcends being gay. Because usually if it was just if Joe was just a gay man, it was just a white man instead of Carol Baskin. If it was Carl Baskin, they would have said fuck Joe because he's gay, right? Because that's just the way
That shit
the
was
world.
wild. That was the biggest.
it's a hierarchy of this shit.
That was the biggest plot twist that Nick was getting.
Oh, I mean,
No, it does not seem like a plot twist at
No,
all.
Nigga had
bro.
2 husbands. It was clear from the jump.
I was like, what? Oh shoot! Because there was revealed the second episode. That's what I continued.
I mean,
I was like, this is
Earlier.
I'm about to say, no, I saw the bit. I saw him beat this dude.
How do we get the Tiger King? Damn.
You talking about hip hop, misogyny,
No,
Tiger
no,
King,
back to your
Carole
question.
Baskins?
I mean, maybe one day. I don't think so. I don't know. What does everybody else think about?
Oh, I think it's possible.
I think you think it's impossible.
I don't think it's ever going to happen. Just because just within my personal opinion. Again, I'm not trying to say I dislike the music I listen to. I love a lot of stuff I listen to, but I know it's got misogyny. Even Drake has thinly veiled misogyny throughout everything he does. Drake is a kind misogynist.
Exactly.
And
People
so
kind
people,
misogynist.
you know who's a really big misogynist, but like has a gigantic woman fan base? And
J. Cole.
yes. People think
I
that
knew
J.
you was gonna
Cole,
say that.
they think J. Cole is just like
Bro,
this.
go listen to J. Cole's features. J. Cole got some wild stuff on other dudes' albums.
Yeah, dog, no role models is a problematic mess. That's what his biggest
I
hit
just
is.
know he was talking about he was on the couch or some shit.
Nah, I don't know, but
No role models.
I only get to go to Greystone with
Yeah,
the
yeah, like
Day
bitch can't even read alone. Like
She
don't
shallow
save
with
him.
pussy.
She don't want to be.
Oh,
She's shallow.
shallow.
Yes, that's so. It's
A
wild.
little thing, but I'm talking about. I don't think it'll go away just because. I mean, even if you had, a dude
I mean,
like
my point. I'm sorry to jump, but
That's
just,
right.
my point was just like even people who are considered, ooh, he's woke conscious.
He's
They're
kind.
misogynist as fuck.
Bruh, Drake's whole gimmick basically is, I want to date a stripper, but I don't want you to strip.
I think it's mad manipulative, actually.
Yeah.
I think Drake's music is really
That's
manipulative
what Drake
too.
falls
when it
into.
comes
That's
to
like
women.
Drake, but
The end of
It's
Dolly
like
Dancing is
he
one
plays
of
the,
the
and I'm a big Drake
I
fan.
don't
Like, I love
Drake,
Drake.
but I think
We
it's
all are.
But I think
I love Drake.
when you take a look back at some of his music, like even like Take
So?
Care. I'm just saying, like we take a look back, like at Take Care and stuff like that. Like yeah, it was a very heartfelt album, but also it was like you just really blaming all these women for breaking your heart.
Again,
and like,
it's kind of misogyny.
you
He
know,
whispers
like-
it to you so you don't.
and then you just
he likes
you hate
the
these
future.
women that you never met, like you know what I'm saying.
Bruh, and
Leah
that-
and all these other Jones.
I got
like, I
you.
don't like them because they hurt little.
But that's
Drake.
why I said it'll
But-
never go away. And the music
It's
sounds
so
great.
wild.
I don't know if it could ever. And I'm not trying to blame them. I'm not trying to call them evil men. I'm just saying that it exists, and I feel like yes, we can spot it these days. Like yo, I can go through and listen to a Drake album, Bryson Tiller. These all dudes I love, but at the same time, I know that there's a problem there. With
What's the
music.
Bryson Tiller song where that man was shaming that girl for hanging out with her friends, dog?
Beginning of his
oh,
second
yeah,
album.
that's
The
the
intro
one.
first, the intro for a second. What
I
are
got
you
supposed
talking
to
about,
rice,
Bryson?
don't drink too much.
Yo.
I was like, dog,
Oh yeah,
yo.
drink too much.
Yeah, and those type of things. It's just like, yeah, those again, these are most of what we're talking about aren't
Those are
overt
good
things. A
albums.
lot of them are microaggressions. They are very small things that you just take out on someone else. And that's why I just, it's just like, you look at the evolution of music and it's like, yo, a lot of the overt things, yeah, those have gone to the wayside. Like, yo, you're not going to hear somebody snap off on a track except for Eminem. I don't know who else is doing it. Maybe Rick Ross could throw a bar in there. You're not gonna hear a lot of dudes snap off with like language like that anymore. But then it's just like these days, it's like, all right, we move away from that. But it's like now a lot of women, if you just like look at a lot of women tweeting stuff, just to give yourself some sort of idea, they easily spot some of the misogyny within this. Like when I talk to my cousin, she like points out a lot of stuff to me. It's like, damn, I didn't even catch that. And it's one of those things where it's just like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. Aaron made a good point earlier when he said like until society changes, it's gonna be hard for hip hop. Hip hop is a very real reflection of what's going on in society. Misogyny
Definitely
is
black
very much
society too.
exactly, and misogyny is very much embedded into like how we move in this country, which is sad. Like it shouldn't be the case, but like even like back to our episode about gender roles, like where the man being like the typical sense of provider and all that stuff. Like they think they're like kind of the man of the relationship. They own the household. They like everything's on them. Like so they think women are kind of lesser than. Like and I think a lot of us in our generation, I don't know how parents are raising their kids now, but like are raising their boys to be like the number one and the women to be number two. And that's kind of a bigger question we gotta ask ourselves as a society. Like how do we want that like hierarchy to go?
And the women aren't even allowed to. Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B, like they make the same type of music as men, and
Niggas
I
be
mean,
losing their mind.
Lil Wayne had about a 5-6 year stretch where every verse he dropped out had some reference to cunnilingus.
Right.
And
And when they talk
Megan
about
Thee
second
Stallion
page,
saying
wow.
one thing,
Right.
Oh, Megan,
She's a freak.
Megan drop a few songs. Next thing you know, you got dudes on IG. You want to sleep with everybody. That's why you got shot. And they be like, nigga, how'd you even get there?
I didn't see that, but thank God I did.
Oh no, you remember? It was like the dude. It was like
Niggas are wild.
that was the one that involved Waka Flocka. It was he
Yeah.
didn't say that, but it was
Waka
like.
Flocka is real.
That t-shirt shit. Yeah.
Every time I see Waka Flocka name, it's something dumb he doesn't say.
And it's like that time when he something stupid he did. That was his wife that got involved for no reason, and then she explained what Waka was. I'm not even ready to justify the situation. I don't care. But anyway,
You don't put no money in my bank account.
I was gonna say, I ain't getting paid by Brick Squad Monopoly, nigga. I don't got a BSN chain.
Ain't no party in here.
Yeah, I'm about to say, all right, ready to play the full lane, big dog.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we have 53 minutes.
Right.
Okay, we were rapping. All right, so let's bring this one in for a landing here.
Bring your nose up.
Yeah, I'm about to say, bring the nose up. Don't crash this bad boy.
Crash this thing.
But we're descending. Why would I bring the nose up?
You know, we want to make sure you don't crash it.
Oh,
We
yeah,
wanna
make
go
sure it's
too
even.
far.
Hey, look, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know about flying planes. I ride. Pause. I don't fly.
You don't have to pause that, Dante.
All right.
Oh, you right. That's small
I
minded.
say you can just ride.
Oh,
It's 2020.
Right.
You right.
If you want to ride, you ride.
Y'all my.
We hope with the new mics and all the new fancy equipment we have, it's a better experience for you, the listener, our listeners who've been around for the 2 years we've been around. You stuck with us. We had to. Did we start with one mic or one mic?
We
and
definitely
one
had one
and-
mic.
We got one mic.
We was fast
We
as
all
back and
fucking
forth.
So we
Like
can't
it was
go
a
on.
fucking campfire. We
What was I
just,
say?
Everybody say your name. When you
Everybody
start
gas
talking.
brown. We
Like
couldn't do
some
that in
homeless people
COVID.
with a can of beans.
We could not do that in COVID.
All right, Dante here. Here's my opinion.
So I mean,
hold on, I gotta pass Dante across the table real quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
There you go, Dante. What
We
you
ain't
want
have a camera
Thank you,
stand.
Dante.
We ain't have nothing. One of
Dante,
us had to
me,
rotate
Dante.
on camera duty. We came a long
so,
way, y'all.
yeah, this has been a long time coming. I was so excited to get here and record this podcast. It's been a stressful week. I'm super tired, but just hearing the sound just revitalized me. So I'm just really excited for you guys to hear it. Episode 56. So, do you want to?
It's like ASMR.
Please stop. I hate you guys so much. Should we mention what we're gonna do next?
What's ASMR? Please help me.
Nah, this creepy as shit. Fuck that.
Oh, okay. All right. So, all right. Damn it.
I was gonna start singing a whisper song. Anyway, go ahead, big dog. What you got, man? We got a lot of good things in the works, man. We got some good shows for y'all coming up. We trying to get guests lined up on this bad boy, bro. We doing a lot of things here, man. Go
Yeah, so
ahead.
we won't put the topics on a date because everything's subject to change. But some of our topics in the next couple weeks, we're gonna talk. Oh, okay.
You
Yeah.
give
Tell them
we
don't
can't-
show them too
we
much.
can't do up next.
You don't want to
One?
You don't
them
want
too
to
One? Give
much.
one. You don't do
We
give
need
them the
to
topic.
ask
Give
what
one.
they want to hear.
Give them one and then ask what else
My
they
God.
want.
Okay. Which one did I go? Damn, I
Give 'em a sneak peek or something.
Man, maybe, next week's episode, we're going to talk about this whole engagement thing and how, men look at it, women look at it. We got different views, we got different ideas, we got ideas coming to you all here. Let us know what else you want to hear, We post everything on the socials. Drop a comment, respond to the stories. Let us know what y'all want to hear. But that's just one thing next episode that we have coming up for y'all. That's how we want to do it. All right, now you go.
I mean, no, that was
Yeah,
really good.
show your ass up, bro.
You know,
Yeah, you about your college.
Let's say it. Let me show you.
Yeah, look here, boy.
Alright, I'm about to end this shit. Goddamn, I ain't go home. Feed my damn dog.
Oh, yeah, definitely feed your dog,
Tell
right?
me
But
what's
one thing
good.
you
I
gotta
gotta take my dog out, whatever. Sorry.
I don't know what you gotta do,
Please stop. Please stop.
Just say your name. Just read me the roll with the ending. If you just start right now,
I can't do the ending. He's talk.
fight. Just fight it. Just fight it.
Okay.
Be strong. Be strong.
All right, it's your man, Shut Up Cole here.
It's time to die.
Hey man, I'm trying to help you. You gotta fight through it sometime, man.
God damn it. All right, done.
He said,
Man, tap it out. Come on, man. Just
I already said my name.
Oh, he said it's your man here. I missed it. My bad. It's your man. It's your man. Son, Weedy W here.
That's your boy Malik.
Nigga, you creepy as shit. Anyway, it's Darian, aka Clark Kent, and these are the Hentations.
Yes, sir.
Damn, that's smooth.